UFC 239 is just wrapped up. I'm joined by Dana White. Dana, before we even get into any particular fights, overall as a card, you've got to be so happy with how tonight turned out.
So good. Such a great card. Yes. I love when big cards that are that hyped actually deliver. So, love it.
Yeah, it certainly did that for International Fight Week. We'll start with the main event. John Jones and Thiago Santos, a split decision there. Scores were all over the place on social media from journalists who cover MMA and fans. How did you look at this main event?
I gave Thiago the 5th round.
Only the 5th round?
Yeah.
Interesting. What did you think about both of their injuries? I mean, it seemed like both of them had issues with either somehow the lower half of their bodies.
Listen, you'll get a reaction from the crowd because it's not a 5-second knockout or, all this other stuff. You have two really big, powerful guys fighting for one of the most coveted titles in the whole sport. The light heavyweight division has been a monster in this sport forever. And people expect these guys to just run out and start blasting each other. The fight was very strategic. They were tearing each other's legs up, both doing damage. And it was a good. Thiago Santos showed up to fight, and he showed up to win. No matter how hurt he was, not only was he taking the kicks to the legs, he was also throwing kicks with the legs that being that hurt. Nothing but respect for him. Nothing but respect for Jones, who kept walking him down, kept moving forward, initiating the fight. And I think in the 5th round, I think Jones' legs were hurt from trying to bust his legs up and the shots that he had taken, and he knew he had the fight in the bag, and didn't want to go into any danger, and you can't blame him for that either. It's not the most fan-friendly way to fight, but sure. He won.
But Thiago Santos also wasn't going to just lay down and die. He did everything that he could. And, in terms of the odds makers and everybody looking into this fight, they're like, Thiago Santos. Yep. But he really seemed to maybe gain something even in a loss.
100%. He's tough as nails. He was undefeated in this weight class going into this fight, and he just went 5 nasty rounds with John Jones, the GOAT.
Yeah.
So nothing to be ashamed of. He didn't just show up and get a paycheck and roll over. The guy is tough. He's awesome, and I love to watch him fight.
Speaking of GOATs, Amanda Nunes. I mean, she used Holly's weapons against her, it seemed like, with that head kick. I mean, what did you think, sitting cage side and seeing that? I mean, what went through your mind?
She's awesome. I mean, she's incredible, and she's beat everybody. You look at anybody who was looked at as great in this sport, she is beat, and she went in and beat Holly Holm the way that Holly Holm beats people.
Where do you see a potential challenge for her anywhere? I mean, she holds the belt in 2 divisions, and it's just like she makes it look easy no matter who she faces.
Right. Well, she wants the Cyborg rematch. We'll give it to her if we can make it. Again, I'm not on Cyborg, but I don't blame Cyborg for not wanting that fight. But we'll try to get it done.
Sure. I obviously have to ask you before I let you go about Jorge Masvidal. I mean, set a new UFC record, 5 seconds. You could argue that it was much quicker than that even.
I agree.
When you looked at the matchup, was that ever even a possibility in your mind when you have Ben Askren in there versus Jorge?
Yeah, well, the flying knee was brilliant. The way that he set it up, the way that he did it, the way that he timed it, the execution of it was brilliant. And, if you think about if you're fighting Ben Askren, there's a 99.9% chance that he's going to come out and try to take you down. So, brilliant move by him. I agree with you 100%. Realistically, that was a 2-second knockout. As soon as the knee hit him, it should have been over. And the other reporters in there were just telling me it was a TKO, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. That's the most vicious knockout I've ever seen. And how long it took Ben Askren to get up. That wasn't a TKO. That was a vicious, nasty KO.
Yeah, a lot of moving parts there at welterweight. Luke Rockhold moved up to 205. Didn't work out for him there. Luke Rockhold has suffered some pretty terrible knockouts in the past couple of fights. Where do you see his future right now, if you've even thought about it?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's something that he needs to look at and think about what's next for him. You know what I mean? It probably he didn't have. It didn't go the way he wanted at 85. It didn't go the way he wanted at 205. And you're absolutely right. Viciously knocked out. The guy models. He makes money. He does other things. You might want to might want to start thinking about that.
Yeah, the face of Ralph Lauren there. It's not like he's just like some Sears model on the side. He's killing it. So,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
obviously there was a lot that happened tonight. There are a lot of contenders that emerge. I'm not going to ask you to match make tonight, but we
Thank you.
appreciate it. Yeah, I'm doing my best. We appreciate
you.
it. And man, what a card. Thank you so much, Dan.
Thank you.